Hey guys, welcome back to Talk with Stephanie. Today we don't have Mike with us or any other guests, just me. But today we're going to talk about some of my own personal experiences and what it means to fail. So, starting off early on in my life, I was raised by like just different people and different adults and things. And it was very just grained in me that, not to fail, to do better, to do more. And I think for the most part, like, I followed those things. And a lot of it too was um, just being around negative people and negative situations. And then, kind of getting that sort of personality and sort of feeling like it was creeping up on me. And I didn't like that at all. And I think a lot of it is just you are who you hang around, and who you surround yourself with. So, that being said, if you're surrounding yourself with people that, are going down a path you don't want to, doing activities, that are not something you'd be interested in, maybe it's time to search for different people to surround yourself with. And I found myself getting caught up in different things and even like just thinking I was an awful person or no good just because of what these people were saying and doing. And so I I realized that like once I got away from some of these behaviors and these people is when I really started to grow. And I started to be more confident and be happier. And that's all I wanted, was just to be happier and, do things in life. And these people were just stopping me from doing that. And, when you're in that space of just feeling like, you know, there's something wrong with you or whatever, just because of, how much negativity you're getting hit with, realize that like what you're going through isn't going to last forever. And that truly there's something wrong with, the person that's being negative towards you. So you can't take it to heart and let it get you down and stop you from doing things. Because honestly, like that's just a huge regret you're going to have in your life. And so once I got past being around certain people and staying away from like things that just weren't for me, I really started to see myself thrive. And I started to do things and try new things that like I hadn't before, and I didn't have the courage to before. Um, but know that failing is a part of growth. And I'd be lying if I said that I've, never stumbled while doing things or procrastinated or anything like that, because that's not the case. Um, there will be days that you just feel like you don't want to put in 100%, or you're just not feeling it. And that's okay. That's you're human. But it's important to, if it's a healthy path, continue on that and keep going, and don't let like a bad situation get you down, or bad or negative people. At the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. And everybody has their own little guideline and map of like who they are as people, and everybody's different. Everyone has different experiences, goes down different paths, tries new things. And I think it goes back to the last episode, even with people hating on you and different things. You can't let that get you down either, as hard as it may be, or as mean as they're being. Like, you have to be happy for you and know that what you do is enough, who you are is good enough, and, not let these people get to you. I was at a very difficult point in my life, um, where I was going through all these medical issues, and it just didn't seem to go away. Like I kept dealing with it and dealing with it like for years, and like I honestly thought like this is just how the rest of my life is going to go, because no doctor was able to fully fix what was happening, or some of the new things that were going on, they couldn't figure out why it was happening, and it was just frustrating. And I'm sure anybody who's listening to this that deals with chronic illnesses might understand the frustration in diagnosing things and just getting relief and different things. But I was going through all these things, and I didn't know anybody else I could talk to really that like could relate at all to what I was going through. I was around 12 when I started experiencing different health issues, and I would have back pain and just like I would throw up bile for no reason and all these things, and like it would go away, and it wasn't anything that lasted maybe at the time more than a day or two. But then, at 16, having my first major like kidney surgery was just crazy. And I think a lot of how I am today is because I went through that experience alone. And just knowing that I lost so much time and different experiences and things from being sick. And I know it wasn't my fault. I wouldn't, ask for this or anything like that, but it did suck. To see everyone I knew at the time like graduating, going up on stage, getting their diploma, and I couldn't do those things. Like I couldn't even move like my abdomen at all. Like it was so swollen and tender, and that's where the incisions were and stitches were, so it was really hard. And I don't think even I realized how much you truly use your abdomen um, to do just everyday things. And so I just felt like all these things were happening, and then right in the midst of that, um, my dream for the longest time was to go to art school. And I remember I was still recovering from surgeries and different stuff. And I was supposed to go to art school, like I said. And I was filling out these applications, trying to get assistance and trying to do all these things, doing everything I could to make this happen, taking all of the classes, making sure I hit all my requirements to graduate, to go on the path I wanted to go on. And um, it didn't end up happening. They weren't able to provide me with the assistance. And um, because of the unexpectedness of um, how my kidney was functioning, and you know crazy just surgeries and doctor's appointments and things, the deadline to retry and everything I missed. And so yeah, I didn't end up going to art school. But um I think through that experience I realized that like I don't know, I didn't want to make art a career anymore. Not immediately did I come to that conclusion, but it was maybe a year or so after that. And I also just realized that like I love art and all forms, music, drawings, paintings, graphic design, whatever. I love it all. But I think for a long time, like art for me was just this sort of release, like to let everything out, like good emotions, bad emotions. It was kind of similar to how people have journals and different things. Um, so these drawings and poems and all these things I had um, came from different experiences I was going through throughout different parts of my life. And I think it was just easier to express myself through that way. And yeah, I learned a lot through that process. But I think also just losing that idea or dream of thinking I was going to get into art and do all these things, I think I'm also just glad because through that experience and all these other different things and learning what I have, I realized that like that's not truly what I'm passionate about. Um, I realized that I'm passionate about changing things for the better and making a positive impact and trying to be the good I want to see in the world. And I love coaching people and encouraging people. And I didn't know that there was like a career or anything like that out there for something like that. And then I came across being a life coach and motivational speaking and all these different things. And I realized like that was what made me like super passionate was learning and coaching and um, being able to teach others from my experiences. So I realized that art will always just have this piece of my heart, but I don't think it's what I want to use to make my impact on the world, if that makes sense. And I think just going through different difficult times and failing and falling um, only helped me. And I learned that just life is just crazy and anything can happen, good or bad. And you can be anything you want to be so long as you put in the effort, you believe in yourself, and you're consistent with it. I truly believe you can go anywhere you want to. So if you're watching this or listening to this, I should say, and you're in a spot or you've ever felt like, wow, like I failed or I'm not where I want to be, there's still time. And I love sharing these stories of just different people that are famous now, like J.K. Rowling. Um, Her husband at the time was abusive and left, and it was just her and her uh, child. And then she decided she had like nothing, and she decided at 40 years old to start writing the Harry Potter series. And, look where she is now. Or people like Colonel Sanders, who didn't make it big with KFC until he was in his 60s, but he still did it. And so I just think that if you are in a difficult spot and maybe you don't think that things are going to change or you're in a tough spot right now, know that you can change it at any point. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but you can. It's just doing small things to get to wherever it is you want to go. For instance, if you want to lose weight, you can, start by changing small things in your diet, consuming more water. Just start small, one thing, and then keep going. Um, or if you're wanting to get into a certain career, uh, start like, researching it, start um, looking to intern somewhere, maybe learn something, even if, it's not a full time position or it's not something that is permanent necessarily, but you're going to learn. Um, and yeah, especially with the weight one too. And if that's your goal, with my kidney issues and everything else, like everything was kind of just swollen and um, I just felt bloated all the time. And I realized that certain things like a lot of sodium or not having a lot of water isn't good for somebody who has, weird kidney functionality. Um, So it's doing that as well. Like if you are struggling health wise, trying to find things that trigger it or make things worse or more painful, and trying to avoid those things. So, and like that's just, excuse me, how I lost weight and everything during the kidney thing was kind of by accident. I was just tired of being in pain, feeling the way I did. And so I just kind of, with trial and error and different foods and diets, just kind of tested things out and saw what worked and what didn't, and just tried to keep doing the right things, putting the right things in my body. And um, the weight just kind of fell off. Like I said, it wasn't going out there and being like, yeah, I'm gonna lose all this weight or whatever. Not at all. Like it was solely just wanting to be healthier and um, not wanting to be in the hospital all the time. And yeah, so I'm glad I did that and experimented with different things and found what worked for me, because it helped my health overall. So yeah, sometimes just doing things that are right for you and healthy for your mind or your body or whatever it is end up helping you in other ways and benefit you in other ways. So it's always worth trying different things and um, reading different things, even. A lot of like what I know and different things comes from reading articles and books and just researching. So even if you think like, I don't know the answer or I don't know where to go, like honestly, like even Google and different things, like, and just reading articles can help you find out a lot of different stuff. So it's always worth pursuing. But to anyone feeling like a failure or somebody's told you you're a failure, um, you're only a failure if you believe that you're a failure. Um, Going back to like what I said earlier, everything comes down to how you think and feel about yourself. If you think you're a piece of garbage or that, life sucks, um, that might just be, your own mindset and where you're at in that moment. But if you think that, life is good and like every day that you wake up is a gift, then you do start to see better things happening and you are more grateful for the things in your life. And I think that's a huge part is mindset. There were so many times in life where um, before I knew what I knew and years ago, where I would sit there and wonder why certain things would happen to me or um, feel down about it. And I realized like the more you put your focus and attention on the things you don't want or negativity, it only hurts you. Like you get yourself stressed out or worried or um, just not feeling like confident or good. Like, so I just had to stop doing it. And that sounds way easier than, actually doing it. And probably because it is. Um, so yeah, I had to keep like reminding myself that like, these little things, these little hurdles and, um, you know, being hard on yourself or negative people or whatever it is, um, isn't going to be what makes or breaks you. You have to be what makes or breaks you. So I just think it's a lot of accountability, um, believing in yourself, um, and just keep going. No matter what path you're on, no matter how old you are, it's never too late to start. Start that career, start your weight loss journey, uh, start that family, whatever it is. There's still time for everything in life. And it's all about where you focus your attention. you could be literally anything you want in this world. Um, and I think that's just crazy that, people believe that they can't, or that they're in such a negative space that like they just don't see it in themselves. And that's just the biggest thing is your mindset. And people think that some, or bleh, I should say some people think that having the money or the looks or whatever is gonna fix their life once they have that thing, and it's not. It's all up here in your brain. You just have to believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, and believe that you can make it. Because if you're constantly being negative and hard on yourself, that's not going to help you progress. It's, going to make you more stressed out and make the progress slower, so to speak. Because you're going to start taking one step forward and then you're like, wait, no, I can't do this. Or, I don't believe I can do it. And, it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and changing things like that, like your mindset, especially, that does definitely doesn't happen overnight. So you just got to believe it and keep going and try new things and take risks, do things you haven't done before. And I'm so big on that phrase. Um, in order to go places you've never been, you have to do things you've never done. And it's true. And I've witnessed that myself in life. Um, like I had mentioned, eating some of the things I started eating on my healthy path, some of them I'd never heard of or, never incorporated in my diet prior to that. And, I didn't know how to feel about it or if I was going to like it, whatever. But, it's also just doing things that aren't always fun, too. Like I said, not everyone enjoys eating kale or Brussels sprouts, but if you want to be healthy, sometimes you have to put those things in your body. Um, so yeah. So no matter what path you're on right now, or how old you are, your gender, your race, whatever, your background, know that you can do anything you put your mind to. Absolutely anything. You just have to keep going and truly have the confidence to do it. So, this was episode 5, and I thank you guys for watching. I also want to say, though this doesn't have a ton of episodes out yet, I was able to view some analytics and different things, and it's really cool to see that people do actually watch or listen to this podcast. And people in age groups that watch this, it's really fascinating to see. Um, Majority of you guys are 22 to 27 or 45 through 60, which is really crazy and cool to me. So I thank you guys for listening and following or subscribing or doing what you guys do to support this podcast. So it means a lot. And I hope you guys look forward to more episodes of Talk with Stephanie every Monday. Bye, guys.